Hi, this is Zachariah, the show here. I am doing my second greatest WrestleMania top 5 list, my number 2, which is WrestleMania 28. And that is why I showed that sweatshirt in the package there, because that is a sweatshirt of John Cena and The Rock for the main event of WrestleMania 28. I did not. It's not opened yet because I do not want to open it yet. To me, it's very special to me. This WrestleMania is a very big WrestleMania for 3 reasons, main reasons anyway. And I'll get to that right now. So, WrestleMania 28 is the second biggest and greatest WrestleMania of all time. There are 3 big matches that happen in this WrestleMania, and only one of them is for a championship. So, Miami, Florida, April 1st, 2012, Sun Life Stadium. We have what I like to compare this WrestleMania to is a hot fudge sundae with chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream, hot fudge, whipped cream, cashews, maybe sprinkles, and cherry on top. The first big match that makes this WrestleMania so great is the end of an era Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Triple H, with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee, the Heartbreak Kid. And this would mark the end of the Attitude Era, which we'll get to later, but this is the chocolate of the ice cream, the chocolate ice cream of the sundae. And then the vanilla ice cream would be The Rock versus John Cena in the main event. Icon versus Icon, John Cena versus The Rock, and then, so that would be the vanilla, and then the hot fudge would be the WWE Championship match between Chris Jericho and the defending champ, CM Punk. The best in the world versus the best in the world. So let's get to the chocolate ice cream of the sundae. The end of an era Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Triple H, with Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, as the special guest referee. This match would officially mark the end of the Attitude Era. Even though Vince McMahon when Vince McMahon bought WCW in 2001 or 2002, that actually was the end of the Attitude Era, because the Monday Night Wars was what fueled the Attitude Era, and it was between WCW and WWF at the time, which eventually changed to WWE. And we also had ECW in there that went out same time as WCW got bought. And so Vince McMahon bought up all the whatever superstars he wanted from WCW and ECW. And that really was the end of the Attitude Era. However, us fans never really got that closure. So this match would mark that. This will also be the end of a 4-year culmination storyline between Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker. Or Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Because we had The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at 25, which was, till this date, one of, if not the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, or at least as far as Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania goes, and his matches at WrestleMania. But a lot of people will say, this match is the greatest of all time at WrestleMania. And then Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker faced off again at WrestleMania 26, which ended Shawn Michaels' career. And then Triple H wanted a piece of The Undertaker at WrestleMania 27, which is probably the only good match at WrestleMania 27, if I were to be honest. Which is not, when you have The Undertaker and Triple H on a card of WrestleMania, it's hard to beat that. Luckily, The Rock was the host of that WrestleMania, which really helped out a lot. The Rock is the greatest host of WrestleMania to this date, in my opinion. Anyway, so and then this match at 28 had to be bigger than all 3 of those matches previously. So this would also be the 25th Hell in a Cell match in WWE history. Why is that important? Because Triple H came out on a Monday Night Raw one day in this road to WrestleMania 28, challenging The Undertaker. This is another attempt to get The Undertaker to accept his challenge, and this time I think this is where Undertaker finally accepted, was when Triple H brought up the point that he and The Undertaker had been in 19 out of 24 of the Hell in a Cell matches in history up to that point. Nobody in the audience, I don't think very many people at home, and The Undertaker realized that until Triple H brought that up, pointed that out. And so that popped everyone's attention even more, and made the stakes even higher. This is now the 25th Hell in a Cell match that these two are going to be in. These two guys' careers have very iconic moments in Hell in a Cell matches. The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels were in the first one ever, with the one, and Shawn Michaels ended up winning that one because interference from Kane, because the Bad Blood 1998. Kane debuted at this Hell in a Cell match, the very first one. So this is a very historic match, build up, and this is what I think probably sold this WrestleMania out more so than the John Cena and Rock match in the main event. It was promoted so heavily, and like I said, it's the reason why these three guys were chosen to end this era, to be the ones to mark and close the door of the Attitude Era, is because these three were leaders in the Attitude Era, which started when WCW introduced Monday Nitro. Don't remember the exact date. Excuse me. I think 1996, something like that. And that kicked off this Attitude Era, and then ended when Vince McMahon bought out WCW. But the reason why these three were chosen to end it is because they're the leaders, three of the leaders, and the three best remnants up till that point of that era. So there were really no three better men. I guess you could say The Rock, but he was already out. He was just coming back for this one match with Cena. So, these three were undoubtedly the best to close the door of the Attitude Era. So April 1st, 2012, Sun Life Stadium, the sixth match on the card. We have Jim Ross come out because he gets to be a special guest commentator on this match, which Jim Ross is a very big voice in the Attitude Era. The voice of the Attitude Era, in fact, with Jerry the King Lawler. So Jim Ross comes out, and then followed by HBK, Shawn Michaels, the special guest referee, which followed Triple H, and then everyone's on their feet. Everyone's, quiet. Well, not quiet. Everyone's cheering still, but for the Undertaker to come out, and Undertaker comes out in the Hellraiser type of coat, and he has a big grand entrance like he always does, even a little bit more so this time because of the high stakes. And when Undertaker gets to the ring, he pulls his hood down, and you see that he had shaved his head down to the scalp. See, the road to WrestleMania that year, you'd see videos of him, short promos of him chopping off lumps of his hair, because at WrestleMania 27, he couldn't get up off of his own 2 feet after defeating Triple H at 27, and that got to him, and very much influenced this match as well. So everyone was shocked when we saw him without long black hair like he usually does. This is the first time we've seen him with short hair since his American Badass gimmick run. And then we have the entrance of the Hell in a Cell. This is so cool. Where how the smoky mist swirled up the ring to reach the cell as it was coming down for the 25th time in history. We had the End Is Near song. That is very prominent in the Attitude Era and throughout the, Ruthless Aggression Era, which John Cena led. Throughout many big matches, this song would play in the promos, and this is probably the best match for that song to ever be played, because it is the end of an era. This could be very well the end of the Undertaker's streak because of how badly he was defeated, broken at WrestleMania 27. He wasn't defeated, but he just survived. That's not a win to the Undertaker or us fans. He's got to walk out on his own 2 feet, because the Undertaker's such a massive character. It's not like him to not be able to walk on his own 2 feet after his WrestleMania matches. And so the cell comes down, and the match begins, and everyone is on the edge of their seats. Everyone's just everyone's anxiously watching, including me at home. This is my first pay-per-view, my first WrestleMania I ever got to see live. But we'll get to that later. And so the drama of this match just kept getting to Shawn Michaels, because he's such, he's the Heartbreak Kid. He has the heart of us fans inside that ring, and when we see him getting torn up mentally because of these two guys who he's close friends with. He's close friends with Triple H because of DX and everything, and the Clique, and the Undertaker throughout history of their matches, and just their intertwined careers. Over time, they become brothers. They're, and Shawn Michaels doesn't want to see the other one kill the other one. But Triple H kept swinging the chair to the back of the Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels is begging the Undertaker for him to stop the match. And they got to a point where the Undertaker had to put him in a triangle hold called the Hell's Gate, he calls it. Sorry. To put Shawn Michaels to incapacitate Shawn Michaels for a moment, so he and Triple H can just go at it without the worry of Shawn having to watch. And then so we had another referee come down, Christopher Robinson, and he gets chokeslammed because Undertaker doesn't even want anyone else but those three in the ring together. Him, Triple H, and Shawn. It's about them, not no interference from anybody else. And so Robinson gets a choke slam, and then eventually Shawn gets back up and Sweet Chin Music's the Undertaker into Triple H, where Triple H delivers a pedigree and almost gets the 3 count, but Undertaker kicks up, and Triple H brings out the sledgehammer, which the Undertaker then takes and smacks Triple H in the face with his most iconic weapon, the sledgehammer. Triple H has always been synonymous with the sledgehammer. And so he got a taste of his own medicine by The Undertaker, which added to the story. And then Undertaker Tombstone pile drives him for, I forgot how many times now, 2 or 3. 3 times, I believe. And finally gets a 3 count by Shawn. And you just see this, you feel the weight lift off of the entire stadium's shoulders. Shawn and everyone, you finally don't have to watch such a gruesome war between 2 or 3 great friends and the icons of this industry, tear each other apart anymore. It's finally over. The cell is raising for the 25th time. And this time Triple H is incapacitated, so Triple H and Shawn Michaels help him up and hit their shoulders and walk him all the way up to the entrance, and they all 3 of them look back at their accomplishment, and as like a salute to all those great years of the Attitude Era and their 3 respective careers combined. Just made a special moment and a magical night for everyone watching and everyone in the back and themselves. It's probably one of those 3 standing at the stage of WrestleMania 28 after their match is probably one of, if not the most iconic images of WrestleMania of all time. The Undertaker himself even has it framed in his home, in his living room, I think, or something. And so that means a lot to him. and that means a lot to everyone who's ever got the pleasure of watching their careers in the Attitude Era and before that and beyond that. So that is the chocolate ice cream of the Sunday. Next, we move into the main event, the vanilla ice cream, John Cena and The Rock. Icon versus icon. Now this match is actually multi-year culmination, because I started, like, the first shot got fired in like 2005, I want to say, or 2006, with John Cena as the WWE champion. And he there's a promo where he calls out The Rock for being a Hollywood sellout, pretty much, and that he was never really the people's champion. He was just using the WWE as a stepping stone, and blah blah blah. And The Rock eventually found that out, heard that, and came in at the Hall of Fame ceremony to induct his father, Rocky Johnson, Rocky Maivia, I forgot, but his father, into the Hall of Fame. And in his speech, he called out John Cena, saying about his he knocked on John Cena's Marine movies that he did, and that amped things up even more. That was the first time, when I first started watching. That was where I first started, like, hearing about it. Or actually, I didn't even hear about it then until this Road to WrestleMania. I didn't even realize that, because I never watched that induction ceremony of The Rock introducing his father. Just always seen little clips here and there, but we gotta see that. And then The Rock was introduced as the host of WrestleMania 27, and when he came out that night, he called out John Cena, much more so, got much more personal about it, calling him Fruity Pebbles with all this colorful shirts and a bunch of stuff. And he then went to WrestleMania 27 in the main event, where The Rock bottomed John Cena and allowed The Miz to retain the WWE Championship by pinfall. And so obviously something's got to happen, right? So WrestleMania 28. Well, between WrestleMania 27 and 28, The Rock and John Cena would go back and forth with vicious promos at each other, really amping the story up, really, sticking a fork in the rivalry. Build up, and we come to the main event at Sun Life Stadium, April 1st, 2012, in Miami, Florida, which is The Rock's hometown. And we're in the main event. We have Flo Rida introduce The Rock, and then we have John Cena got introduced by Machine Gun Kelly, but John Cena came out first, and then The Rock. Machine Gun Kelly and Flo Rida had their own songs. They did, and then John Cena's and The Rock's entrance music would hit, and then they would come out. Whereas in other WrestleManias, you would have live performances of the musical artists that made the superstars' songs for their entrance. The superstar would come out with live entrance music rather than the recording normal entrance that they do throughout the year. This was not that. It was just Machine Gun Kelly doing a song that kind of represents John Cena and his story and everything, and Flow Rider doing the same for John Cena, kind of another promo almost, but through musical artists, Machine Gun Kelly and Flow Rider. And so the two get to the ring, and it's a back and forth clash of icon versus icon. John Cena, the icon of today, and of the Ruthless Aggression era, and The Rock, the icon of the Attitude Era. And so it was very much similar to The Rock versus Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 18. Because that was icon versus icon. That was a passing of the torch. Rock went over on that WrestleMania 18 match with Hogan. But it was a very big match. And now we're at WrestleMania 28 with The Rock and John Cena, another version of that. And so, each guy gets their finishers and their signature moves, and it's back and forth. Very much expected, and every time The Rock went down by Cena, the crowd would have mixed reactions, and then when The Rock got Cena down, everyone would cheer. And so basically what it came down to ultimately was John Cena was about to do a people's elbow on The Rock, but The Rock quickly got up as the John Cena came off the ropes into a rock bottom by The Rock, which quickly got the 3 count. And so The Rock won, but they both got over that night. With that's how that's how I imagined it to be. Was just whoever got the other would just barely get him. It wouldn't be a full on how The Rock or Stone Cold got pinned by Jericho on the same night, where it was like a complete knockout, no question victory. This is like 1, 2, 3, just kicked out. And then Cena rolls out of the ring, and The Rock gets his most electrifying victory at WrestleMania of all time, and that match was that match gets the vanilla ice cream in this Sunday, because it's like getting the passenger seat in the car rather than the driver's seat, because they ended up doing it again at WrestleMania 29. Which is an additional factor as to why I stopped watching. It's because I was like, come on, guys. But, that'll make more sense later. So they ended up doing it again in the main event of 29. And so since this match at 28 was dubbed Once in a Lifetime, it had us fans thinking that was going to be it. There wasn't going to be another one, and there shouldn't be another one if you're going to say it and dub it once in a lifetime. It ended perfectly, I thought, and so I didn't think there was a reason to do another match between those two, especially just those two in the main event of the next WrestleMania. They could have at least put in Punk and make it a triple threat match. That is probably what should have happened, but Punk ended up facing The Undertaker, and anyway, we'll get to that at another time. So that's the end of an era. Chocolate ice cream in the Sunday. John Cena and The Rock, icon versus icon, is the vanilla, and then we go to the hot fudge of the Sunday, the delicious part that just as the time went on, it kept getting better and better, and the WWE Championship match between Chris Jericho, the challenger, and CM Punk, the WWE champion, the defending champ. This match was dubbed, or taglined, Best in the World versus Best in the World. And Chris Jericho had that line before CM Punk did, because in his suit and tie Jericho run, he would always, claim stuff like, I've beaten John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the same night, and became the first ever unified WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And so, yes, even though Chris Jericho had help with that one, the records still show he is the first ever unified champion. And so, and that on top of many other accomplishments he's made, becoming a multi-time World Heavyweight Champion, a record-time 9-time Intercontinental Champion, and Tag Team Champion. Historical matches and moments by Jericho throughout his WWE career legitifies his statement of saying the best in the world. And then when he left for a while, and then CM Punk started using that line, calling himself the best in the world, when I don't know if it was before or when or after he finally won the WWE Championship from John Cena. He started calling himself the best in the world for the WWE Championship, on top of his victory over John Cena and becoming WWE Champion, and then on top of becoming a 2-time Money in the Bank winner, multi-time World Heavyweight Champion. He cashed his first Money in the Bank contract on Edge, and then successfully, and then on Jeff Hardy the second time at Extreme Rules. Excuse me. CM Punk would also go on to end Jeff Hardy's career in a steel cage match for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that, amongst many other things CM Punk has done, also legitifies him as claiming himself as the best in the world, not by just himself, but also by the fans. He's also an ultimate underdog. He's like my personal favorite when I started watching, because he just had such an interesting look, especially I think because of his lip ring and tattoos and his punk hair, but mostly because of the lip ring, because usually you don't see wrestlers having lip piercings in their ear, in their dangling jewelry that could easily get snatched and pulled and ripped off or something. That's a common sports rule, is to not have any jewelry while you're competing. But CM Punk is a punk, for a reason. He calls himself CM Punk because he has to live that punk rock sort of lifestyle, that gimmick. Which he's like that in real life too, just in the WWE he's amped up to 11. And so when Chris Jericho comes back, he eventually starts challenging CM Punk and antagonizing him over his family's addiction problem. CM Punk's father was an alcoholic, and his sister a drug addict. And throughout the road to Wrestlemania, he would constantly, throw those at CM Punk's face, because CM Punk is a straight-edge superstar. He's a straight-edge WWE champion. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. And so, which also adds to why he is the best in the world. Legitimately. And so, this eventually made it so personal and on top of previous years where CM Punk and Chris Jericho would have singles matches where CM Punk would just come up short. They were such good matches, but Chris Jericho, being the legend, the veteran that he is, would end up winning those matches. And so this made it even more personal, and with a world championship on the line. So John Laurinaitis makes this match official, and we come to Sun Life Stadium on April 1st, 2012, in Miami, Florida. This is the 9th match on the card, the 9th match of the night, or the match before the main event with John Cena and The Rock. And so Chris Jericho comes out first. He has a new entrance with fireworks. It's kind of like a Y2J-esque sort of entrance, but he has now a flashy jacket with his short hair that he now has. When he was in the Attitude Era, he had long hair and a similar entrance, but with long hair. No flashy outfits. Yeah, he has flashy outfits, but not really the jacket that he's wearing at this WrestleMania now. He's got a flashy jacket, just lighting up, and with his suit and tie Jericho haircut style, and then a Y2J-esque entrance. And so he makes it to the ring. And then CM Punk enters, and CM Punk's entrance to this WrestleMania still sticks in my mind because you just see, when you see greatness, it shines, right? And so when he comes out, it's almost like seeing a Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of feel to it. It did. I don't know how else to compare it, but that's just, you get the 360 shot of him coming down the entrance and with the WWE Championship around his waist, not knowing that, I was about to spill some beans there too early for a moment there, but he comes down and he makes his entrance to the ring, and John Laurinaitis, before the match started, he put a stipulation that if CM Punk lost control and got disqualified, that Chris Jericho would become WWE champion. When you're watching this, it's like, I don't know who. I want CM Punk to win, yes, but I also kind of want to see Chris Jericho with that spin belt finally for just a month or two, just because I thought he would look really good with that championship and the bright light up jacket and everything, his new look. I thought that would be really awesome to see, and so I wasn't really sure exactly who I wanted to win, but I'd say I'd lean more towards CM Punk, definitely, just because he was like my pupil when I first started watching. Like, he was who's the guy that before I knew their name, just by looking at them, who would I want as the guy I want to root for to make it to the top, the underdog. And I chose CM Punk, and here he is at WrestleMania defending his WWE Championship. And so the match starts, and Chris Jericho at first is taunting CM Punk about his father and sister being drunks and alcoholics, and that does get under CM Punk's skin at first, but eventually Chris Jericho just sort of stops doing that, and it just becomes two men wanting to be the best, going at it. We had high spots, we had flipping, and we had signature moves back and forth with code breakers and go to sleeps and walls of Jericho. And after about 22 minutes, CM Punk got the Cobra Clutch on Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho ended up tapping, and Punk ended up being the victor. I meant to mention before too is that the match between The Undertaker and Triple H was about 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes with the Undertaker and Triple H match, and this match was about 22 for the WWE Championship. And so I was really happy to see that. I was happy to see CM Punk, the guy I was behind since day one. I first started watching retain against such a veteran like Chris Jericho. Even though I love Chris Jericho too, I actually, when I first started fantasizing about my character, the show, I thought of his code breaker as my finisher before I knew that was his finisher. And so when I found that Chris Jericho had the code breaker as his finisher, I just called it the head to the knees. When I first started on my mom's king size bed wrestling myself, my finisher move would be the head to the knees, which is Chris Jericho's code breaker. Anyway, that's so then CM Punk would end up going on to be one of the greatest and longest reigning WWE champions of all time. In the past 25 years up to that point, ending at over 430 days, I think, until the Royal Rumble the following year against The Rock. The Rock ended his reign as WWE champion at the Royal Rumble in 2013, and I thought that could have made a good triple threat match. If The Rock and John Cena were going to do it again, they could have at least thrown in CM Punk to make it at least different, not just the same match we saw before. Okay, I'm gonna go off on a tangent there. I keep going with that, but basically, CM Punk is definitely one of the best, if not the best in the world, and he proved it that night. So that would be the hot fudge of the Sunday, because that match just kept getting better and better as it went on, and just encapsulated the whole night. It was the garnish that delivered beyond expectation. And so I know I didn't explain these. I know I'm not probably explaining this very well, but I did write like a whole essay about it and posted it on my Facebook, Zachariah the Show. So whatever I missed on here, talking about on here, it's on there. It's hard to do because there's a lot to think about, a lot to incorporate. So we have the chocolate ice cream of the Sunday, which is the end of an era match, the Hell in a Cell between The Undertaker and Triple H with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. The vanilla ice cream of the Sunday, which is the Icon versus Icon, once in a lifetime match between John Cena and The Rock in the main event. And the hot fudge of the Sunday, which is the WWE Championship match between Chris Jericho and CM Punk. See, the three best matches on that Wrestlemania that I'm calling out, only two of them were not championship matches. Only the one was. So that speaks volumes as to who can put on the show and who really goes to show that you don't have to be a champion to make a WrestleMania or make a great make one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, it just has to be a very, accomplished superstars in the ring that have earned their stripes, and we just get to see the best versus the best, see who is the best of the best. And so the cashews, the sprinkles, the whipped cream, and the cherry on top with a banana inside would be all the other little matches that happened on that WrestleMania. We had the Big Show versus Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship, which the Big Show ended up winning, and Big Show ended up finally getting his WrestleMania moment, because all the years previously he would lose, kind of embarrassingly, as Cody Rhodes would promo out leading up to that WrestleMania. Similar to how Edge did the same thing to Mick Foley at WrestleMania 22, where calling Mick Foley a big joke and all that, because he's like a fumbling idiot. But this match was different because the babyface ended up winning, whereas that match the heel ended up still winning. Edge at WrestleMania 22. Here at WrestleMania 28, the Big Show, the babyface, ends up winning and becoming Intercontinental Champion, I think for the first time in his career, and getting that special moment, WrestleMania moment. And then we have Team Laurinaitis versus Team Teddy Long, which is basically Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. And this is to determine the overall general manager of both Raw and SmackDown, which The Miz led the team of Laurinaitis', and Team Laurinaitis ended up winning, which ended Teddy Long's general manager of SmackDown job and his career in WWE. And we also have the Divas tag team match between Kelly Kelly, who is my favorite WWE diva of all time, teaming up with Maria Menounos, who is not a WWE superstar. She's a guest appearance in this match, kind of like how Mr. T was in WrestleMania 1 with Hulk Hogan. And then we have Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. Actually, Daniel Bryan is the champion and Sheamus the Royal Rumble winner. They get a face-off, I think, second that night, the second match of the actual show, where we would get the shortest World Heavyweight Championship match of all time, where Sheamus bro-kicked Daniel Bryan as he was distracted with AJ Lee in the beginning of the match. As soon as the bell rang, Daniel Bryan was still kissing AJ Lee, and when he turned around, he got bro-kicked by Sheamus. And then Sheamus ended up winning right away. Got the 3 count, and we got Sheamus for the first time as the World Heavyweight Champion. He had already been WWE Champion at that point previously, once or twice at that point, he's a world. This is his first time with the big gold belt that used to be the WCW Championship when Vince McMahon bought out the company of WCW. The big gold belt that Daniel Bryan lost to Sheamus at WrestleMania 28 was that title. And So I put that as the cherry on top, just because we got a an obviously historical match with being one of the shortest World Heavyweight Championship reigns or matches at WrestleMania, and probably of all time. So I apologize if I can't think of. I'm sure I'm missing some things. The Randy Orton versus Kane match. Yes, that was the first match of the night. This match sprang up kind of last minute over a chair shot a year or two ago. I forgot who hit who, but with a chair. But it took him out of action for a while, and then Randy Orton and Kane ended up having a match at WrestleMania 1-on-1. And when you're top tier talent, you don't need much of an excuse to have a match anywhere, even at WrestleMania. I mean, Randy Orton and Kane is you can have that match at any time, anywhere. So it just so happened to occur at WrestleMania 28. I'm not sure how many times we've seen that in the past where Randy Orton and Kane had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania or anywhere. And Randy Orton is my sister's favorite, but unfortunately, Kane ended up winning, getting a huge choke slam on Randy Orton, and Kane got the victory, which I was happy for Kane. So both Brothers of Destruction came out victorious that night. Kane and The Undertaker used to be called the Brothers of Destruction. And yeah, I'd probably put all that, however you want to put it, the cashews, the whipped cream, the banana goes to the Divas match that Kelly, I probably didn't really complete that description. So Kelly, my favorite diva of all time, teaming up with Maria Menounos against Divas champion Beth Phoenix and her partner Eve Torres. And that was a great match in my mind because I always loved Kelly from the start. She's always had an iconic look to me. I thought before I looked her championships and accomplishments up on Wikipedia, I thought she had won, I thought she was just draped in gold by the time I started watching, but no. She only won one Divas Championship, which is still very good. I'm glad. And she got like a 4-month reign with that, so I was really happy for her when she beat Brie Bella and became Divas Champion. But she was not champion going into this WrestleMania. And the championship was not on the line. But Kelly and Maria Menounos ended up winning that match, and I thought that gave a good focus match to Kelly, my favorite. So I think that about wraps everything up as far as the WrestleMania goes. And this WrestleMania is very special to me because this is the first WrestleMania and pay-per-view I ever got to watch live at my home, because at that point my parents knew I was obsessed with it, and I begged them to buy it on demand, and so they ended up buying it on demand for me, and we all ended up watching it in the living room. Prior to that, my dad would take me to live shows, and that was all fun for me, but this is the first time I was actually able to bring WWE to the home so everyone can watch, and we can all watch together as a family. We don't really do those kind of things as a family much, where we just all are watching the same show. or something like that. We didn't really bond all that well as a family, but this one time I was able to bring us all together with wrestling, and that brings a special moment to my heart. With how few that happened as a child. And so I was very much focused on my dad when we were watching this, because he was getting genuine emotion on his face when he was watching the Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Triple H, with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. And because he was astonished by how brutal those chair shots looked, and the marks on the backs of the Triple H and The Undertaker, and my mom was gasping because he was gasping, of course. If something's to make my dad gasp, or cringe, or have a smile, it gets my mom kind of worried, and like, oh, if that affects him, it's gonna affect me too. And so watching both of them react to that match and throughout that night was special. And The Rock was the first guy I ever knew about in wrestling, because I watched Scorpion King, and then I found out he was a WWE superstar, and so, but I never really got to see his matches because I wasn't into wrestling at that when he was in wrestling. I was into Power Rangers at that time, but eventually I'll get into that probably the next video of how I started watching wrestling. So yeah, this WrestleMania will always stick in my mind and my heart. It's the second greatest WrestleMania of all time, and this has been a pleasure to talk about it. Even though it's a bit of a struggle, I know it's not coming out very smoothly. This is something new to me. I'm really trying to push myself out there, really trying to push my stories out there. I never really got to do it in such a fashion before, or really any fashion, at least this long. I never really got to talk about it like I am now. So please bear with me if you are, if anybody's watching. If not, that's your prerogative. I'm not gonna get mad or upset if nobody watches this. It's just at least I got something. At least I got my voice out there about my memories and experiences as a fan, personally and business-wise. I have so many DVDs, and I've been watching so much stuff on Peacock with wrestling. Like, I've been having a wrestlegasm lately. Just I can't. If you go on Peacock, you love wrestling, you don't know where, you're not going to know where to start, because there's so much good sounding content on there. You got a Broken Skull, you got sessions with Stone Cold, you got rivalries and WWE legends, and legends of wrestling. There's just so much. It's really hard to know where to start, or you don't even want to finish. It's not even all on there. Some things they've I don't know, it's all compacted. So yeah, this has been an honor and a privilege to be able to share this video. This is Zachariah, the show. You all have a great night. Happy holidays.